Welcome back to another episode of Talking It Out Helps. Talking it out helps because talking it out shows us that everybody has goals, everybody has visions, and everybody has issues. And the more we talk, the more we learn, the more educated we become. And we get inspired by each other. So, with the same thought, I have with me today a very inspiring gentleman who I can't wait to introduce you to. This is Mr. Al Anthony. Al is a councilman of my town right now. He's a two-time mayor of Livingston, where I live, 8 years as a town councilman, chosen as a special counsel to New Jersey Attorney General specifically for natural resource damages. And as he says, he sues polluters, so better watch out. Which is a great cause to begin with, I think, because our planet needs a lot of love and care as well. And he just inspires me so much because besides being a full-time attorney, he's a father of four, a loving husband. He is able to juggle all those roles very efficiently. And I can't wait to hear from him how he does that. I think probably just that attitude and just that brilliant smile that he flashes all the time gets things done. So let's get started. Hi, Al. How are you doing?
Hi, Vanita. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining me today. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time.
Yeah, thank you. And you're making me smile by what you just said. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, Al, I have so many questions. Let's start with first one. You are such a busy man. Then why would a man who's already got so much on his plate consider public service?
Mm-hmm. Well, Vanita, public service is something it's always meant a lot to me. I grew up in a family that we were always taught it's in giving that we receive. It's actually a religious saying. I grew up in a Catholic family, and that's actually the prayer of St. Francis. It's in giving we receive. So I was always taught you got to give back. And you hear that a lot actually out of public servants, that I wanted to give back, and that's fantastic. And I guess for me, I did study political science as an undergrad, and then along with the law degree, I did a master's of public administration, again, government and public budgeting and all of that. So when I turned to give back, in addition to other things, I wanted to get involved in the town government and try to give some of my time and talents and whatever I could offer to helping out the place where we all live. And I'm raising 4 children with my beautiful wife, and it seemed like a good way to give back locally, and something I could run around and help with ordinances and help make the town even better. We live in a great town, but anything I could do to try to make it better, I'd try to squeeze it in with all the other things you said I'm doing. So it came kind of naturally, but it's in my blood, like the giving back. Like I was saying before school, I used to like clean up rivers and stuff like that. I've always been like an environmentalist, but once I got those degrees and now, being an adult and a family man, and how can I give back to the town? Probably the municipal government would be the thing that, fits with me the best. So.
Definitely. And the first time that I got to meet you was when my son was becoming an Eagle Scout, and you were the mayor of Livingston at that year. And I wanted to make sure that you were invited. Oh. And I was looking for your contact, and lo and behold, your cell number was on the town's website. My jaw dropped because my thought was, who in their right mind would put their personal cell phone out for the visibility of 30,000 people in town?
It seems nutty, right?
What makes you so brave? And how has that experience been? Do you ever regret having done that?
No, I haven't. I did. I think at one point I had my home one on there too, but my cell has always been on there. Work was on there. I think because I use the cell more often. But the point remains, yes, I try to make myself very accessible. Right from the beginning, my cell phone has been on a website that our town has 30,000 people. But if you're going to get into it, and this is why when someone asks me to join a group, sometimes, a lot of times I will, because that's my nature, but sometimes I won't because I'm like, I wouldn't be a good member. But on the town council, if you're going to get into it, you got to be into it. You got to like it. You got to do a good job, not just, oh, I want to run for something and be popular, or some sort of popularity contest, or a stepping stone to something else, or filling a void in your life that maybe your work career isn't that happy. I'm very happy at work and what I do for a living and my family. So I just thought, all right, I'm going to do it the right way. I may take a pounding on this. My wife may be like, are you crazy? But I did put the sell out there. And has it ever backfired or anything? No. I think it's been great. I think they respect it. I think when the home one was on there, I think they actually called the cell more than the home because they felt funny calling the home. But I get a lot of cell phone calls, and I just try to help them out. I think that's what I signed up to do. So, and you know what, Vanita, I think I try cases. I was talking about my job, so I'm a trial lawyer. And I always think like the jury gets it right. Like if I have a real bad case, I'll lose, or if I have a good case, I'll win. Like they see the more minds, the better. And I want to hear from everyone on the good ideas of how to make the town better. So if I kind of shut it down, I'd be nice in a position, but I really wouldn't be getting how to make the town better. So people will text me, they'll call me, they'll say, hey, did you ever think of this? And then as a lawyer too, I get to, as a councilman or mayor, I get to advocate to the council, hey, I just heard a real good idea, and try to sell it, or, to make my case, in other words. So no, it's never backfired. In fact, I like to hear from as many people as possible. So
that's a very brave stance, and I'm very inspired, actually. You also, as a mayor, you did meet the mayor, where you invited people to come and talk to you face to face.
Yes.
So that also is amazing. Has this been a normal thing going on in town, or you were the only one who did that?
No, there was a listening post a while back, but no, when I think I was sworn in the first time as mayor, I said, I'm going to have a meet the mayor. I was thinking of different names, time with Al. So I just called it meet the mayor. And what I would do is I would show up early. We have town council meetings at 7 o'clock on a Monday. So I'd always be there early. And if people actually called, and I got a lot of people that wanted to meet, I'd come in earlier even yet. So usually I come in, sometimes 6:30 to 7 would take care of the people that texted me or called me. And what I would do is, a lot of people don't like coming to a microphone at town hall because you're on TV and you state your name and your address, and that's not for everyone. Lori, my wife, would be like, no way do I want to get up and say my name and my address and start saying what my issue is or problem. So what I did was, in that half hour, in that hour, in that hour and a half, whatever it was, before 7, I'd be in the back room in the conference chambers. That's my lovely dog. In the conference chambers, and just whoever wanted to come in could meet with me one-on-one. I had no one there. I didn't have someone taking notes. I didn't have someone with the court, or with, we have a municipal court there. I had just me. Talk with me, tell you how you think the town's better, or if you have any real issues. And I try to see what we could do and talk with the manager, and then talk with the rest of the council.
So you understood the unease that people felt coming up and standing in front of a microphone and stating their whereabouts, and have those eyes at them. Not everyone's comfortable doing that.
A lot of people aren't. Like I'm on my feet a lot with law, and it doesn't bother me. I remember when I ran for town council, my lovely wife, Lori, there was the debate, and the whole hall was filling up. It was the first time I ran for town council. She goes, how do you do this? I would fake an illness right now and run out of here. So I was like, I don't know. I guess I do it for a living. I'm in front of some tough judges all the time that could yell at you and stuff like that. So I don't have a problem speaking to a large crowd, but I do recognize the fear, and especially if it's something personal or something about your house or something in town. I want to hear them, just you and me. Let's go through it and figure it out. And you're right, public speaking is, and you're great at it. But I once read it's the number one fear and death was the number two. It's on Seinfeld. It's a funny episode
Yes.
where, so you'd rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy.
Eulogy, yes.
So I just thought that was funny. So no, I like the one-on-one setting, and anyone who wants to talk with me can, whenever.
Well, and that's why I choose to work with children, because I feel that if I can make them fearless right now, they'll never look back.
That's right, right from the beginning, and
Right.
great foundation. You could set them on their way.
Yeah, because once they shed that inhibition, because my experience is that when they are younger, they are far more open and comfortable with who they are. And as they go through, especially during elementary to middle and middle to high, that transition, they become very self-conscious.
Right.
And they are going through a lot of changes, in their mind and bodies, both. And they become very self-conscious. They clam up. They don't speak as much, and they need to be more vocal.
So earlier, once you get them on, they're used to standing up and not being afraid about expressing themselves or advocating or whatever, right?
Exactly. There's no looking back.
Yeah.
And I get that from parents saying, I don't know what's going on in class, but I'm getting a lot of high-pitched argument at home. Because we talk about pitch and volume.
High-pitched argument, I like that.
Arguments at home. But no, that's phenomenal. So you've been in public service for how many years now, Al?
8. I ran 2012, and that was a tough election. It was a 3-2 split, and we had to run hard, Republicans, Democrats, and had to hold on to the seats. And that was a big election. But I've been fortunate enough that things are going nice in Livingston, and I work with a real good crew and council members. I think you said in the beginning, I've been fortunate enough that I was unopposed in 2016 and this year, 2020. So they say 2 ways to run scared and run unopposed. And I guess I did both of them, because the first one, a little scared. So.
Yeah, because the first time you step into the ring is always, I guess, a little unsettling.
Yeah, I know name recognition and stuff like that. I knew I could do a good job, but you got to it's all new. You got to get your name out there, and but I love it. It's public. You're right. It's 8 years now, and I signed up for another 4 at least, trying to help our town, and I think we're headed in the right direction. I like what we're doing. Yeah.
It's a great town, and with leaders like you, it's even better. So thank you.
Thanks.
But were you in public service prior to those 8 years?
Like I said, different things. Like, for instance, my oldest is now 21. I started coaching, if you mean by public service, coaching, Little League, soccer, whatever I was asked to do. I mean, I have 4 kids, so I've coached, we once counted it, like 30 Little League teams and soccer teams, maybe 40, 50, whatever. I don't know. Lots of teams. And I enjoy all that. And I did serve before town council. I served on the Livingston Environmental Commission, because I do a lot of environmental work as environmental law. Served on the Open Space Committee, a great committee. I served on the Livingston's Budget Advisory Committee, the Green Team. Then you graduate a little bit. Then I went to the Planning Board. And then from the Planning Board, I ran for town council. But so service stuff and town stuff, committees and volunteer spots. I'm a UNICO member, like I said, Little League, UNICO, some other service groups, and then town committees where they're looking for people to step up and volunteer their time on certain issues, like the environmental or the open space or the green or the recycling or the budget and stuff like that. And then the next step was a retiring councilman said he'd like me to take his seat, replace him, because he had done 12 years, great councilman, Steve Santola, give him a plug. And he said, he and I coached a Little League together. He goes, we got to get you on the town council. So he took my wife and I out to dinner and said, don't worry, you'll still see your husband and all this. And Lori agreed, and the rest, that was 2012. So I ran for council in 12. And it's been fun. It's been and the mayor, 16 and 19 is really, really fun. You're you're running the whole year, but it's just more of the same fun. And speaking for the town, kind of being the face of the town, and I like that.
And I believe you do collaborate with other towns too, right? You've reached out to other towns and see how they've been running things and compare notes.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? That's a great point, because the first few years I'd see them at some organization seminars. When I rotated into mayor in 16, then I'm talking to the other mayors a lot, and it was nice. I kept all those connections and then came back in at 19. So I was able to talk with them about shared services, exactly what you just said, what they're doing right. And you know, it's never above a town to say, you're doing it right, we want to do that too. May not be our original idea, some are, and then see who's doing things right. And the more you're with other mayors and council people, you do get a better, you know, a pool of ideas, and you bring them to Livingston if they match up and they make sense for our constituents.
So when you reach out to other town mayors, is it from the same county or do you go across counties?
That's funny. Yeah, it's easy with the county because I see them at county events, but there's also statewide events. And you know what? My law practice actually brings me in with a lot of different counties throughout the state. So I have friends, you know, I was in Morris County, a gentleman became a mayor and he put me on his transition team because I was friends with him and we knew each other from swapping ideas and sharing stuff. So no, it doesn't stay to just Essex. It's a bunch of different counties. And like I said, my work brings me almost in every county in New Jersey, especially now representing the Attorney General and suing polluters throughout the state. So if it's a good idea in the South or in the West, or, you know, it's a good idea. So I'm glad the exposure has brought me closer to other elected officials for good ideas.
Fabulous. And where do we go from here, Al?
Well, we have an election in November, and like you said in the beginning, thankfully, and it's an honor for the town and the Republican Party too to say, you know, we're not going to oppose you. That doesn't happen a whole lot. So I think we're headed in the right direction. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, council and mayor and all that. I'll you know what, Benita, I'll always be open to the greatest amount of good for the greatest amount of people. That, you know, I studied political philosophy and all of that, and I think that was Jeremy Bentham going way back. But it's you know, I'm trying to do the best for the 30,000 in town. If for some reason something came along that I represent more than that, fine. I know you know this, that, you know, I was asked a couple of years ago to look hard at Congress, and it just didn't match up with my family and going to Washington and leaving them half the time. I guess first and foremost of what you listed, I'm so proud of being dad of 4 and a loving husband, or did you call Lori a loving wife? I forgot. But we're both loving. But anyway, that's number one. So I love staying in town where I could run to things and come home and coach a team, keep my day job, cut a ribbon at lunch, and keep representing the state against polluters and people injured with, I do a lot of toxic torts, people injured with cancer from pollution, where I walk into a house and everyone wants to know what happened, and I have to sue someone who was polluting the air or the soil or the water. I mean, I love my job. So Congress, you give up your job too. So didn't make sense. So I stayed on the council, didn't bother to run, but if in the future something dovetails again with family life, greatest amount of good for the greatest amount of people, you know, using my talents, I'll leave my options open, but I'm very happy doing what I'm doing and talking with you.
One step in front of the other, one step at a time.
That's right. That's right.
Well, you are a delightful gentleman to talk to and very inspiring. I know your family, and it's just such a joy and pleasure to know all of you. So loving and so approachable, so transparent and so giving. I truly appreciate that. From behalf of my own family and the town residents, I'm sure, would agree that we thank you for your service and just look forward to more and more. We appreciate the fact that you keep the channels of communication open. So it's easy when we can reach the officials of town and we can openly air our issues and thoughts and grievances. It really helps. So I really thank you for keeping that channel open. Thank you for everything. We wish you all the best. Whatever you decide, we will always be behind you on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanita, and the same goes to you. We'll turn the camera on you and all the good stuff you do in town and for family and everything else, because I get embarrassed talking about myself, but we could talk about all the great things you do. So thank you so much, and thank you for everything you do.
Thanks for the opportunity, Al. Thank you.
Thanks.